are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am.
I love that shit so much.
It's just genuine.
Yo, D.
See, girl.
I'm yelling because I'm excited, yo.
It's been
a long ass time.
A lifetime, really.
Yo,
think about it.
It has. It has.
This is D.
And this is C. And this is Black Meets World.
Woo.
We need to rehearse that shit, man. That's good. Did you miss us?
We hope
Did you miss me?
I have missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you all summer.
I know. It's real.
And now we have to miss Insecure for an entire year because the season is over.
But you know, we can make up for that because we're going to talk about that shit today. And we got some folks in the room to help us discuss the last episode, the finale. We can go ahead and start right here. It's my main man. Okay, the main woman. He over here
the right
pointing.
side of the room. If either one of y'all can.
How you pointing to the other person?
Because I'm shy.
You're the least shy person in here. Get over it.
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, OG.
Hey.
This is OG Mike. Y'all remember him from many episodes where he was dropping all the uncle knowledge. Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Sloan.
Hello, hello. Thank you for coming back, Sloan. What's up? And we got a few more.
Oh, it's me, Utak. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Utak West. So good to have you. Thank you for joining.
And it is the reigning creative artistic director of Black Meets World, Najee Omar, back from the West Coast. I'm here, Brooklyn, New York. 11233, 11238, 113 PS20, LaGuardia High School. Let's go.
Represent. Brooklyn.
Why are you like this?
Folks is
We ready. This is the premiere episode. We back.
Hey, we back, baby.
We back, baby.
That was everything. We back, baby. We live, baby. Okay.
Shoot.
Facts.
So, season 2 of Insecure. So, last year, we recapped season 1, which was the infamous and never forgotten scene of the back shots heard around the world.
That was really good.
Thank you. Lawrence was giving it to Tasha like he never had before. And so, that was the end of the season. And in season 2... we went through quite a roller coaster with each character. What do you want to do? You want to go through the season or through the characters?
Let's do this. All right. We're assuming everyone watched season 2.
Pause if you haven't and go watch the shit and come back.
Yes, because it's going to be a good ass discussion, my peoples. So finale episode, we basically can like see Issa, you know, living her whole life according to her own, you know, agenda. She's over here messing with the neighbor. She's messing with old boy that unfortunately was the demise of her relationship with Lawrence.
Daniel. You could name him.
Okay, Daniel. Who else was in her rotation?
The white man who did
the white guy.
Yeah.
He was technically
Rico
Latino.
Suave.
He wanted to make a good woman out of her.
the Dos Equis man who didn't like her.
She was like, I didn't come here to talk, baby.
Right, and you came to my apartment, so what's up?
Right.
Then we have Molly kind of going through the most interesting relationship wise. Like
I love the open relationship. I want to talk about it because I've been through something similar recently.
Uh-oh.
We'll get to that in a second.
Is it open?
Okay.
The tea.
We got like Lawrence trying to come up. He's finally off the couch. He retired his Best Buy.
Lawrence trying to come up. Lawrence trying to come up.
I ain't got no woo-woos on my phone. Where they at?
Wow.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
I think
Lawrence is doing pretty well.
Perspective is everything.
All right, so we already can feel the tension in the room based off of different perspectives.
Right.
So basically, the finale had, you know,
Why do
Lawrence.
you keep saying the finale? We're gonna talk about the whole season.
Let's go from the beginning. Can we go
Right.
from the
Let's talk
beginning?
about the whole season. Let's
So
do it.
who do y'all want to talk about first? I say Issa, but that's personally how I feel.
All right, let's start with Issa.
She's a main character.
Okay. How do you feel, OG?
She hella confused.
Hella confused.
Hella
I agree.
confused. I mean, you think about it. They put themselves in positions that there's no win. They have yet to have wins. Right? And then when they winning, they do shit to not win no more. That's like taking the ball and scoring on the other person's goal.
Well, how do you feel about Daniel?
He's winning.
Okay.
He's getting what he want out the deal.
I don't think so.
Temporarily, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because he truly cares for Issa,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but she's just so confused.
all over the place.
Yeah, she's sloppy.
She is. I feel like she likes him.
But they sloppy together, right? Because he understands her sloppiness. And she's awkward as hell.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But I mean,
so
even
sloppy,
that...
awkward, and confused.
That phone call where she was like, why our shit always got to be so messy? And he was just like, I don't know. But at least we even. And I was like, wait a minute. But
you too many episodes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Too ahead of it. All right. Keep going.
No, but that's basically...
Okay. How do other fellas in the room feel about Issa?
I don't really... I think that, yes, she is sloppy. I think that Issa is a well-written character because you kind of don't like her, but you root for her to... You want her to kind of win, but then also, like, it's just like, you're doing terrible. I don't know. I feel... I don't really like any of the characters. I would identify as Team Kelly because Kelly is my only the only character that I actually really like. I actually want all of them to fail.
Okay.
But yeah, Issa kind of sucks.
I agree with you about Kelly. She's the only not unflawed, but she's the only one who's just not.
She's real.
Messing
she's
up
herself. Like
her
she's not
whole
even
life.
trying. Like she's just.
She's the best person on the show.
Yeah,
she's not faking it either. Like, she's not
the best.
Yeah, and she's not messing up and then acting like she didn't. Like I really appreciate her genuine nature.
Exactly, she's very real. The only one.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I'm in a similar boat. I think Issa's just. It's not just about her being messy, right? Because we see other characters on different shows being messy, but she's just. I feel like she's dishonest, and that is what makes her messiness ugly. Because messiness could be complicated, and there still could be some beauty in that. But it makes her, the nature of the way she does things, ugly, and then she doesn't understand why she's in the situations that she's in. And a lot of the times, it's like you really cause a lot of these situations for yourself.
Right. Like even. Like one of my least favorite things about Issa is actually not related to the main plot, but the fact that she doesn't care about the kids that she works with. Like, we all know that We Got Y'all is a big joke, blah, 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 blah. However, like she's supposed to be working with real kids. When has she ever had a conversation with Molly talking about, Molly, I really care about these kids that I'm working with and I really want to do better for them. And we all hate her coworker, Frida, because she's terrible.
But is she terrible?
But she cares more about the kids probably than Issa does.
Well, Issa's just self-absorbed. She's so self-absorbed.
But
I feel like Molly comes, calls her up or talks to them about their job, like what she's trying to do at her job and come up at her job. And Issa never talks about her job outside of work.
Because she doesn't care.
She's so flippant with Frida. Granted, Frida's a pain in the ass, but she's so flippant.
She's trying.
Right, and she's trying to find solutions and work with Issa, and Issa's just like, all right, girl, well, we could just do whatever and it's fine.
So she's like the bad teacher in the classroom.
Yes,
yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
So who really shouldn't be teaching?
Right? Yes,
right.
absolutely.
That's probably the best.
But she's also one of the most qualified. She understands what Issa.
I think she's underachieving. I think she's underachieving wholeheartedly.
No, Issa is one of the most qualified. Oh, sorry,
Why?
Issa, because she's the only black person at this nonprofit that is targeting and trying to help and uplift black and Latino kids.
Is she helping them?
But she's not, though.
She
I will say this them at all.
She doesn't care, but she doesn't care, but she is actually putting in programs during the time that she doesn't care that actually do have an impact. Them going to the beach, them having the after school program. Her, eventually going through getting over her own shit and being like, you know what, let's actually have something for the Latino kids too, since I do recognize this.
I totally disagree.
Okay, go for it.
I feel like Issa is very self-absorbed. Out of all the characters that all her friends, everyone's adding value to her life, helping her try to get her shit together, and she's not adding value to their lives.
Real.
Her job, everything's falling apart because she doesn't have her shit together. At work, she doesn't care about those kids.
None.
If she did care about the kids, then she would have spoke up to the vice principal when he wasn't letting the Latino kids come into the class.
I'm conflicted on that one.
So
we got to talk
she's
about that.
She's there to help kids in general.
Yeah.
That is her job. The only reason why she let it go on for so long is so she has job security. Like, let's be real.
I looked at it.
She just wanted to have job security, and so she was like, okay, we're not failing anymore because enrollment's high, and I don't care how enrollment's high. As long as enrollment's high, I'm good.
And also
she's all about herself.
And I feel like she's underachieving at that. Like,
so the program, is she got her. Now
Frida,
we got
right, exactly. And so,
and Frida got the promotion. And I feel like if Issa had tried at all, she could have gotten
exactly.
But Issa didn't need that promotion.
She didn't want the promotion.
And that's the point. Why are you in a job where you don't even care about your own growth?
She got bills to pay.
So for all the things that she was upset with Lawrence about for the 2 years of him sitting there trying to build his app out, you know, saying he's not working, he's not supporting, he's not helping.
She was just
was she
showing up.
even carrying much of the weight?
Come on now. Come on.
You know what I mean? So now we see Lawrence, the script is completely flipped. He done came up, got a new apartment. The shit is dope.
Forget the apartment. Got a new wardrobe. Got a haircut.
Got a whole new, he's out here driving a Jag.
Right.
Even though that's his daddy's Jag.
And that's fine.
And that speaks to probably his past and the fact that he comes from privilege. But that's
and
another
that
thing.
is fine. But now she's living with who? Because she has nowhere to live.
That's because gentrification
crumbling down because she was self-absorbed.
I didn't even think about it in that way. How their whole
It's just
life
flipped.
circumstances
The whole thing's flipped.
I also, so the way I interpreted Issa's negligence in not confronting the principal about the Latino kids was, all right, we also an oppressed group, so I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on getting at least the black kids, you know, into the classroom, and then eventually I'll go to something next. And more importantly,
basically, she said, I'm rooting for all the black people.
Basically. And this is how I interpreted it, right? Eventually she would come around and also help the Latino kids. And she probably didn't know it was as severe as it was until she realized, like, oh shit, like it was a blind eye. It's like how white men are. It's like, oh, it's a blind eye because it doesn't directly affect my life or anyone like in my circle, in my hemisphere. But oh wait, I didn't realize these other people on the fringes are also being discriminated against as well. Let me try and now like give a helping hand. That's how I looked at Issa when she was actually like really aware when she was on that bus with that little boy and she said, hey, we have after school program. And he was like, oh, the principal told me that it was full. That's when I think she had like that aha moment. It also might have just been in line with where she was mentally at that time when she was able to actually accept that kind of like feedback and know like, okay, wait, this is a bigger issue than what I actually thought it originally was. But that's how I interpreted it.
I think you're giving Issa way too much credit.
Yeah, I think you are. Because they told her that the program was going to be cut if they didn't get a certain level of enrollment.
Right.
So just that alone shows you whether it's black or white or whatever, it's a numbers thing. And so she was like, okay, I got these numbers up. I don't care if it's just black people in here. We're going to do this. I don't think it had anything to her rooting for us even more or even less. I just think she wanted numbers.
I don't think she cares about one student in her entire program.
No, I think
she can't even name any of the kids in the program
themselves, but she's so self-absorbed that they play second.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
she has so much going on.
It's not present in her life. It is her life, but it's not what drives her. What drives her is figuring out Lawrence, figuring out Molly, figuring out her friends, figuring out the next party, figuring out her next lay. So it's because she did so well in the past season with the program of having the children come to the beach, like you brought up, as well as to the house up in the hills and understanding. But that's her being self-aware and understanding what would I like growing up as a kid in South Central who doesn't necessarily get an opportunity to go to the beach and just do stuff at the water.
Right.
So she forgot about that part because her life is just fucking hell.
Yeah, like
so. Let's transition though. I think like we talked a lot about her job, but about her personal life. So how do y'all feel about her still hooking up with Daniel, and then
she a grown ass woman
that's fine, trying to create this rotation with all these random dudes. My man's downstairs with her charger and using her Wi-Fi, and then you got like these nice dates with the Latino man who cared about her, and she was just trying to add him to the rotation. Like, how do you feel about that particular mess?
She grown and she's single.
I agree, but I also feel like she didn't do her research. Like she doesn't know what she's doing, and that's why it feels so bad for her, and that's why like she hasn't had success in whatever she thinks she's doing because she's not sure what it is.
Is there a book on hotation?
I think that she should probably ask some of her friends. I don't know if any of the ones on the show have.
She asked a hoe expert.
I mean, Kelly got fingered in a diner. I feel like that could be her main source.
Well,
but that's her boyfriend now, though. Don't you see? She got him a jacket, a jean jacket from Forever 21. It was in the women's section, but it fit him.
I thought Kelly was having a seizure, to be honest. Until I saw it again. I said, yo, she's 6. There's something wrong with her.
I immediately knew what was going on. I was
too.
like, wait,
that flew right over my head.
Oh my
Really?
God. Wait, for the women in the room, for the men in the room, have y'all ever been in a situation similar to that?
I have, yes.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've
Oh
seen
yeah, I ain't
it.
trying to implicate nobody if you personally actually been.
But I've
Kelly.
definitely seen it.
I've
Oh, yeah.
seen it.
I've seen it as well.
I don't hang around with those types of people. I don't hang around with you people.
Heathens.
Okay,
Oh,
so
but-
your belief is that she's grown and she's allowed.
I agree. I agree. I agree with C. Like I felt like I was here for the rotation, and I liked seeing Daniel in this role, like to get more of his backstory and just to see how he was with her and in the intimacy of their relationship. Like I felt like that gave his character more depth.
Yeah.
So I was happy for that.
I like what they've done with Daniel this season. He's more human.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I feel a little bit bad for him just because, but not really. I'm conflicted about how I feel about Daniel just in general, but I also agree with what Utak said, that she just doesn't know what she's doing, and she also doesn't realize that she gets herself in these situations and then doesn't understand why they're happening to her. So I don't know if y'all want to talk about
Right, because the question is why. Like she wants to do this rotation. She's a grown woman. That's fine. But what is she really trying to get out of it, and how is she going about that? And I think that a lot of things in life happen because we just don't plan. I'm a big believer in planning things, and you know, some people have said overthinking, but I think that it's necessary doing your research and saying, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into this fully. What exactly do I want to achieve, and how is that going to happen?
You're being logical.
Yeah. I don't think she wants.
That's way too logical. That's not off the cuff, right? That's not somebody saying, you know what, fucking I done had enough of being all tied up. I'm just going to date, right? Because you can just date and see what comes your way. But then, on occasion, you still have urges to be met somewhere in that rotation, right? Or in that decision. But it's way too loud. This is all carnal. So she thinks she's equating just getting at people or having relations as being, non-committal. But there's some commitment and some follow-up that needs to happen even in just dating. Right, that she has been out of the game for 5 years dating this dude, so she real sloppy with us. Right?
I feel like she's sloppy, and she just comes off like she's all over the place because she really doesn't want to be a hoe.
right.
Like at the end of the day, if she could strip everything down, and we see that in the season finale, she wants Lawrence back. So her trying to be a hoe, it's not working out because she really doesn't want to do it, so she's not really like committing to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then like misery likes company, so maybe she thought Molly was gonna be on this hoe train with her, but she's really not. Like this whole season we've seen a different side of Molly, and she's not really on the hoe ride with her,
right.
you know what I mean? And so
we'll get to Molly in a second, but she's
not like running from randoms to randoms. I mean, she's doing some
the way she was in
ratchet
season
stuff.
1,
right?
It's
not the same Molly in season 1 as far as her hooking up with just every and anybody. She did have her hookups, but it's not. It's a different type of hookup. And I guess we're gonna get to that, but
yeah. Well, the last thing
committed.
I wanted to talk about with Issa, and see, I don't know if you have any other thoughts about this. Was the scene with Daniel. Obviously, she's giving him head, come situation.
Bruh. I'm gonna come out the gate. I'm real pissed at how basically I don't like the stereotype of black women don't give head. Who in 2017 is a grown ass woman who not giving head, or let alone gets offended when you've done a good job and a man happens to like skeet up in your face? I just don't personally agree with that.
The word ski
because it felt necessary and it drove the point home. And my point is this: to me, that whole narrative pissed me off, and it really even like edged it over was when Molly agreed, like, "Oh, should we go to his house?" And da da da. I'm like, Molly, you girl,
right? Everybody, Molly wasn't the one. That confused me.
It just seems so off character for like everybody.
Yeah.
Also, I don't like that narrative of like maybe if we're in like high school and it was like white girls versus black girls of giving head, like the like the likelihood of who would do it more, maybe, but. If you were a woman approaching your 30s, who isn't doing that?
I think they're in like their 40s, honestly. Like,
first of all, I take offense as a woman in my 30s.
Wait a minute, in their character, aren't they supposed to be like approaching 30s?
Yeah,
right?
they're in their late 20s.
Yeah, they're in their late
20s.
How do we know that they're in their late 20s? How do we know?
Because they announced it was also on the credits. It was like,
but they also finished college 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
I thought somebody tweeted something about how they don't know if they're in their 40s, 20s, or 30s because they're reckless and irresponsible like their 20s. They look like their 30s, but they have opinions like they're in their 40s.
Right.
You know,
okay, that's a good one.
And so I
would love to
They are
understand
supposed
because
to
we
be
have
in their
different
late
people
20s.
from different, age groups here.
You suck.
I feel, OG Mike in the building.
There's too much.
Personally, I feel like ain't shit different when you hit your 30s other than the fact like, at least I've been down that road before. Don't mean that people still don't make the same stupid, decisions. It's just like, I happen to be older, but I still like make some stupid decisions, whether it's, men or women. I mean, how are people in their 40s, Mike? No shade.
No, I'm going to be honest, right? So in your 20s, you're still testing the waters and trying to figure shit out, right? Because it's carried over from your teenage years. You don't really know shit, so everything you do is testing. And, you plan, some folks just throw caution to the wind and do stuff. In the 20s, you think it's about mortality, right? You don't give a fuck because you got time, right? So the 30s, you start realizing, you may come up on, you've heard some shit that by 30 I need to be someplace, right? But then reality sets in, like, yo, I'm not going to be there, so fuck it. I'm just going to work with what I'm working with, but I'm not doing the same dumb shit I did in the 20s, right? But you still working on your shit, right? But you just don't do the same dumb shit. Like, you don't go to the club and spend up all your money, right? Because you got rent to pay. So in your 30s, now there's some people so stuck, but in your 30s, you go like, all right, listen, I'm going to go out, but I'm on a budget, right? So when you get close to like 30, 35, you're like, yo, can I go to a lounge and get a drink? What's the drink specials? Right?
That's so real.
That's what you do. So you start thinking differently. You start behaving differently. And you don't always want to be the last person at the party. You ain't trying to close the bar. You're just trying to go hang out and then go home. Because you got to get up and go to work in the morning. I remember being in my 20s, hanging out, and going straight to work after I come from the club.
You was a wild one.
That's me right now.
That ain't wild. That's what you do. You go to the club.
That's real.
You hang out all night. A shower? Well, no shower. You change your shirt. Go on into work and you work. You go to sleep later. And then you take a nap and you get up and you do it again.
This is why C says that I'm an old person.
You are old
because I've never.
Because that's me all day.
I have to take a nap somewhere. I gotta go.
I used to sleep 2 hours a day.
Especially if you like the club scene.
Yeah.
Right. So you in the clubs and you dancing. Hey, back in the day you danced. You didn't go to the club and stand around and floss. No, you came there to sweat. And and you met other people that sweat. Especially if you've never been to the Shadow. Shadow was a place where grown and sexy people go.
You getting put on.
You see that? But they don't have those places anymore because people go and stand around and look at each other.
Thursday nights, right?
Yep.
Thursday nights.
Thursdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Is this in Brooklyn?
Thursday night parties, man.
This was New York.
Okay.
This was in Midtown, Manhattan, 28th Street.
Okay.
So you go, but there was a bunch of places. Now they're not here anymore. You don't get a chance to go out and dance and, release your weekly frustrations, right? And just enjoy yourself. Now, y'all, I don't know what y'all do. What do y'all do?
I go home and go to bed personally.
Yeah. There's a lot of time to go to bed.
Drugs.
No, but you're right. In my 20s, especially like undergrad days, Thursday night parties, dancing, wake up, hit the lab at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
definite college days.
And then back out.
Honestly, that was me last week, so I really don't know what y'all talking about. But I agree.
So you and Issa Rae got a lot in common.
I have a lot in common with a lot of the characters.
Oh, so which character?
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Who do you identify with the most? I'm going to personally go with... Never mind. I changed my mind. I'm not going to go first.
Honestly, I identify a lot with Molly.
I do too.
And Molly gets shitted on a lot, but I identify a lot with Molly. Ironically, like a lot of what Molly does self-sabotage herself. I self-sabotage myself in other ways, not as similar, but nonetheless, it's good to have this almost therapeutic, like existential piece of yourself where you're like, damn, is that what be happening? That's how people be looking at you. But in ways, I feel like, you know, how Molly is like approaching like this whole open relationship. I was actually approached by a gentleman who, you know, said that he was in an open relationship, and honestly, it was one of the most amazing open conversations I've ever had. Like, not ever, but I've had in a very long time with a person of the opposite sex.
Was his wife there?
No, he's not married. They're not married. They've been together for 3 years. He considers himself an ethical non-monogamous. So him and his partner are open about expressing.
It just sounds like excuses.
Right.
Dating.
It's a modern way of saying I'm in an open relationship. So basically, ethical non-monogamy is the idea that like I'm actually going to tell you that I'm not monogamous, and even more so, we're going to discuss like, hey, tomorrow night I'm going to be going out with XYZ, so I won't be free. You know, I'll be home at.
I'm sorry. When you said ethical, I just thought of like, you know, free range chickens. Just
but how do you know he's telling her that?
Because he's saying he's ethical.
Right. So that's the thing. So let me backtrack. So she's also dating someone because he's telling, you know, so she's dating someone as well. Also just learning him, I don't feel that he has a reason to lie. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But long story short, it was one of the most like bare bones, I exposed it all about myself conversations I've ever had, because I didn't feel like there was anything to lose. At the end of the day, I don't feel like you know, like sometimes like I've realized in my head this is a problem, but like if I'm dating someone new, I won't tell them, oh, I'm going to go see my homeboy and hang out for a little bit, because I just want to avoid like the how is that your homeboy, or wait, y'all dated in the past but y'all cool now, or like any issues of jealousy that I feel like could come up. So I just avoid it and be like, oh, I'm visiting a friend, and hopefully they won't have to ask too many questions about who that friend is. But with him, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm visiting my homeboy, I'll let you know when I'm free later so we can go grab a drink or something like that. It was a very honest conversation. Now later down the line, I realized I am not attracted to this man, so I'm trying my best not to ghost him, but that's a whole nother conversation. Nonetheless, my interactions with him have led me to realize, oh, like open relationships is a very common thing, and through him I like was introduced to other couples that are, and you know, who are in open relationships. And for Molly,
swingers.
Not swingers though. It's different because you have actually like a emotional connection to that person, and it's different from polygamy, because polygamy means we all love each other the same, and it's like, nah, like he doesn't want to know about his partners, other partners, and I don't personally didn't want to know her. So it's different. It's like all your separate different quadrants to kind of like have relationships, which I do agree to an extent. I think that for some people it can work because, you know, there's a lot of cultures that, you know, kind of facilitate, you know, polygamy or other kind of like different kind of thoughts on relationships. Also, I think that it's interesting that a lot of people cheat and kind of keep that from their partner, and eventually the other partner might like forgive them, and then they might cheat again later on down the line, and then just kind of like gets swept under the rug. Versus this is like, hey, this is who I am. I personally like dating XYZ, you know, every few months because I just want to get like that out of my system, but I love you and I want to be with you. So it kind of opened my eyes to, you know, there's different kind of lifestyles that I never thought about or knew about. So for Molly, I don't agree because she's in love with that man and she ain't got nothing else to fall back on. So she's a loser in the situation.
Well, she also wants to be in a relationship and then is with a man who she cannot be in a relationship with, which I think is part of her problem.
You think his wife knows?
That's what I had. I'm confused. Recently. I don't think so. I'm like, this nigga might be throwing the best kind of game. Because I mean, who's to say that she actually knows?
I felt that was so awkward with them at the thing, because I'm thinking, okay, she must know, but she must not know it's with her. I think that they're in an open relationship, but Dro never said it was with Molly.
What's your intuition telling you?
I don't think she knows, because he wouldn't have, when they were coming out the bathroom, specified a time for when she comes out the bathroom if she knew.
Facts. I think that it also could just be appearances. it also could fall in the line of just don't disrespect me in front of my face.
Yeah.
So it could fall in the line of
so
like there's other
people
mixed, mixed company that's there. It's like, yeah, we can know about this about ourselves and maybe the three of us, but the whole group don't need to know about us.
Yeah, I felt that
I can
way
see
too.
both sides though.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I really think she doesn't know. And if he was concerned about appearances, then they wouldn't be fucking in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then having the, I might come out and see somebody like Issa was standing right there. She fixed her homegirl up, made sure she looked, good and ready to go back to eating everything. But I really don't think that she knows.
I agree.
I don't.
I think it's some of the best game I've seen in a long time. It's sad, but hell.
So you want to just jump into Molly, or you want to continue with the?
Oh yeah, how y'all feel about Molly?
Molly is just whatever. I mean, Molly's just, she's also, why she do my man Sterling K. Brown like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Let me just tell you something. Okay. You said which character do you identify with the most? Me, Sterling K. Brown. He was on. He was on 1.5 episodes.
Trying.
Right? Anywhere Sterling K. Brown is, whether it's the Emmys, This Is Us, the OJ. That is me.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So no, but Molly is just.
Even Grey's Anatomy.
I didn't see Grey's Anatomy, so I don't know.
No,
He got kicked off. Just saying.
He got kicked off. Okay.
Wait.
No,
That's
no.
Isaiah Washington, and we're not even.
Oh
shit! We're not going. I'll actually
crazy.
edit that out for you because
Damn, you're so right.
Exactly. see?
No, in legit, like in real life, I was like,
that's
oh no, that's him.
All black
Thank you
people
for
don't-
correcting me.
Yeah, Molly, what it's just like it's so weird because she has these archaic ideals of what a relationship is when she tries to hold her parents up to these like unrealistic standard, right? But then when she looks at it inward and I guess whatever she's chasing,
It's terrible.
it's horrible, right? So Molly, I'm cool off Molly too.
So you look at everybody, right? So you look at everybody. Everybody's living in a place of idealistically what a relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, except for Kelly,
Yes.
right? And except for the married couple who actually know because they went
Well,
through
there's some shit going on with them, and we're gonna get back to
we know
that too.
but we know they've gone through some stuff, right? And going through some stuff, you learn some shit. But they all live in fairy tale. And you think about it, that's a snapshot of the culture of black love, right? We live in fairy tale. We don't live in the present. We don't live in what's real, what's true, and about understanding that relationships are about work, and it's about also accepting that people are flawed.
Yep.
And you know what? You may get, everybody heard of the 80-20 rule, right? So you may get 80% of the person that you love. You're not going to get 100% because some shit got to be left for them, right? So you may get 80%. And it should be, and you got to understand that it's okay. But long as they ain't whooping your ass or disrespecting you or spending up all your money at the strip club,
Wait a minute.
right? So there's a point at which we have to live in reality, and the conversations that we need to have are more realistic as opposed to, I want my life to be perfect. My husband's going to be perfect. My wife's going to be perfect. They're going to love me forever.
Yeah.
They're going to take care of me forever, be in my corner forever.
But then Molly says all that, and then she does things that are completely the opposite of that, which is the thing that confuses me. Like, okay, you want some archaic, one-to-one monogamous relationship and to live happily ever after, but now you're dating somebody who you essentially definitely cannot have that with. And then on top of that, she has another option. My man's from Get Out, who
Facts.
like, she just act like he
ain't her type.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's just not her type, which is what
not-
she did
it's
to
not
my
all of a
man
sudden.
Jared.
But he's not her crush.
He's not. Yeah.
He's not her crush.
What's his
But-
name? Enterprise. My
don't
man
think it's-
was Jared, right? From Enterprise in the first one.
Oh yeah,
Like, she did the
Sucking
exact
dick-
same thing.
Getting his dick sucked by a man.
Lord.
I feel like she should have got over that, but that's not
What?
it.
I feel like it wasn't all of the sudden like, okay, they're at the cookout for her parents. She finds out her dad cheated on her mom. Her walls come crashing down. The world just ended and everything.
She
and
ruined
found
the
out
party.
about this.
She ruined her own party.
I feel like she let that justify going all the way with Dro. So
Yeah.
now it's like nobody's relationship is perfect. So you know what? I'm just gonna hop on this train, even though it's not perfect and it's not ideal. I could probably make it work, and I'm gonna see where this goes. So I feel like she's using that to anchor what, you know, I feel she shouldn't be doing because she's in love. Mm-hmm. We don't know what we don't know if Dro's in love or anything like that. Like, we don't know that yet. We don't know how he really feels about her.
I think he loves her.
It's not even
but he's not
he
going to
cares for her.
It's not even about that.
Together.
Yeah, his priority is not her, so it really doesn't matter. Like,
he's not going to leave his wife.
Sure won't.
Why?
Would you leave your wife for Molly?
Not if my wife is allowing me to be with Molly.
Facts. Why not have your cake and eat it too?
Because God said.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So
that one man is supposed to be with one woman for the rest of their life.
So, Mike, you're the only person in the room who is married.
Okay.
What are your views on reality when it comes to, or what are your views on marriage and open relationships?
I think it is individualized. I think that whatever floats the particular people's boat is what they should do. And I say the fuck out of grown folks' business.
That's a very good stance to take, Mike.
Because essentially, I know what works for me.
What's that?
That ain't it. I'll be honest. Because I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I don't necessarily want to know, feel, taste, smell that you've, you know, we in an open relationship, because we not. And I'm going to tell you that we not. Because that's not what we doing.
Facts.
Because but we having that conversation. Right. And more people need to have real conversations.
Yeah.
As opposed to assuming. But I've been married twice. So the first one I wasn't truthful. I didn't have those conversations because I was new. I was young. I was in my 20s. So I had the ideals of what a marriage is supposed to be. Right? But that's not what it was. And then when I figured that out, it was time for me to move on. My wife didn't like it. But it was better for everybody that we did split up, because essentially we were miserable. At least I was fucking miserable. So if I'm miserable, I'm pretty soon going to start treating you like shit. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just be honest and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This I think what we need to do. And let's, go on. We had no children. So it was easier to make the transition, but it was still hard because that wasn't my plan. My plan was never to get divorced, because idealistically, I'm supposed to be married for like 50, 100, 11 years.
Yeah.
50, 100.
Right?
That's real.
But until death do us part. Or until I get, you get tired of me or I get tired of you. Right? So, but we got tired of each other. The relationship had run its course. And I made the decision, but she told me to get the fuck out. So she made the decision too. But it wasn't fair. You know what I mean? We all came into the shit in fantasy. You know what I mean? And we weren't really truthful. And a lot of it is just growing up. And people got to live, and you got to grow up. You got to experience shit. Once you experience shit, then you can talk about some stuff. But most people don't know shit until they live it. You know what I mean? Like I for example, I'm not advocating smoking crack, but you can't talk to a crackhead and say don't smoke crack. You ain't never smoked crack. You don't know my problems. You don't know what
all the examples you could have chosen,
I'm
really surprised.
Example.
But
you don't know how they feel.
You don't know how they feel.
The good high.
You don't know what the good high is. You don't know what benefits they get out of it.
Yeah.
Right? But I know that crack ain't for me.
I'm trying so hard.
But essentially, but I'm just saying that's a bad example.
Okay, well let's get back.
Let's move on. I'm sorry.
No. Let's just get back to any last minute thoughts.
It must be the brown liquor
about Molly.
We drinking today.
Any other thoughts about Molly and her activities?
Nah.
We good on Molly?
Can I get on Molly?
So
I haven't said anything about Molly yet.
I'm waiting on you.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I felt bad for Molly.
What you feel
I
bad
felt
for?
bad for Molly because Molly didn't realize that life is not about being perfect. I felt bad for Molly because she allowed her judgment to be clouded and for somebody to shit on her and say, you know what, it's okay, I'm going to accept it. Because when Dre treated her, when they had their interlude in the bathroom, and she felt like shit.
Yeah.
That was bad. And I felt bad for her. Like I really, I shed like a little tear right here on my face. Right side, left eye. A little tear came down. And I felt bad. But I felt bad because she doesn't understand, because nobody ever talked to her. Nobody told her this is what life is going to be like. Everybody walking around here, nobody's ever talking to them.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever having conversations about shit's going to be, there's going to be ups and downs. Some people going, and how you going to deal with it? You know what I mean? Because you got to deal with shit. But they never have a conversation. None of them ever talk about what their parents do.
Yeah, and it was evident by
realistic.
her brothers knew and she didn't, and so I think that made it even more.
Why wouldn't you tell your sister?
Yeah,
that
she
the
just
parents were having issues. Like I have a friend, and my friend is going through issues, but his kids know we're going through issues because shit is crazy in the house. You sleeping over here, you sleeping over here. Your daddy ain't coming home tonight. Why? Because shit ain't right. We going through something. People got to know that. And we're not honest. We have to be honest. And if shit ain't working, it ain't working. But we working through it. I'm done with Molly. She good people, though.
Yeah, I would have, if I had to identify with a character, I would also say Molly, but a combination of Molly and Kelly. Because I'm not like Molly in terms of relationships at all. But in terms of like her holding Issa down, her like professional attitude, and just like the way she's kind of a ride or die, I identify with. But I feel like the realness of Kelly is a lot more what I identify with as a person, but relationship wise as well. Like I couldn't live the life Molly lives, but I would agree with you. At some point I just felt bad for her because I was like, damn, like she just out here. So I appreciated the scene where she went back to the therapist. Because I was like, okay, maybe she at least can acknowledge that she needs somebody to talk to. And this is one of the better ways for her to do it.
But I also think that she's delusional, right? Your job is a job. It doesn't define you. You make your check, you make your check. If you can't make your check here, you make your check someplace else. You know what I mean? Forget what the other person is doing and where they getting propped up and shit. That's a waste of time. If you ain't happy here, float on. You know, don't. Why you bitching?
She's mad because of institutionalized racism and sexism.
Then do something different. You can't make somebody.
She did though.
Something different.
I just felt that it was so shady that they handed her an award.
They gave her a letter or a certificate of appreciation.
That's some bullshit.
The biggest
I couldn't believe that shit.
Ever.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. I felt that it was absolutely ridiculous. Like they just handed her this piece
like
of paper.
That's like a participation award.
A what?
Participation award. Participation award that you give little kids for joining the
Thank you
soccer
for showing up here every day.
But they know that they can appease. They think they can appease her with that.
That was just trifling.
I mean, I think that was probably really over exaggerated for the premise of the show, but that happens in so many other ways.
Right.
We'll give you a small bonus. We'll give you these other things. You know what I mean? And we'll move you to a corner office.
Right.
We'll give you
comp days.
You know what I mean? Like, and when you think about the grand scheme of things, like that's really it's the parallel structure of just like how they shit on you.
Comp days, your corner office, all those things do not give you financial gains that can help you in other aspects of your life where you need to be. You know what I mean?
Well, on top of that, that's just not what she was looking for also. Right. She was looking for the coin and they played her, so. All right, I mean, and our last like main character,
last but not least,
for the Lawrence Hive is Lawrence. How do y'all feel about him? I mean, I'll start and say that my hope for Lawrence is that he becomes successful and stays single right now. Because I feel like he's in the same boat as Issa, where he does the shit and then is like surprised that some bad shit happens after it. Like, he doesn't want to go to the cookout at Tasha's family's, goes and then leaves and then is like mad. Like, it's like, oh shit, I didn't realize
she was
you
a
were gonna
distraction.
be upset. Yeah, and I feel like he's just filling his life with distractions. Like, I want him to be able to focus on one thing and then achieve that and then move forward in his life.
She was a winner.
So my boyfriend and I, we were talking about Lawrence and the whole Tasha situation. And just basically Lawrence in general. And so some themes that we saw like through all the episodes, he's always deferring to his homeboys for advice. Not that they have their shit together at all, but he's always deferring to them. And then he follows their advice, going against his better judgment. He knew he shouldn't have been taking her out to dinner because he didn't want to take her out to dinner. He just wanted to smash, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hook up and smash. But he followed their advice, took her out to eat. It led to her thinking it was more, even though he knew it wasn't. He wasn't communicating that.
I think he was
then
confused.
he shows up. I don't think he was confused. I think he just doesn't know how to communicate. And I think he just really, you know, leans hard on what his homies are saying. You know what I mean? So, like, the homies were like, oh, you got to nip it in the bud with the girl and the coworker that she smashed. And
right.
he's texting and everything. Now, if they didn't say that, would he have been so driven in, like, you know, getting on her about it?
Right.
I don't think he would have. And to me, they had a good foundation. Things were going really good. And then the friends. It was always friends telling him what to do, when to do it. And then it kind of... So was he self-sabotaging? A little bit. But I think he just leans on them a little too much. And with the breakup and him getting all, you know, a new place and everything, I think he's supposed to, like, try to find himself instead of sitting here and leaning on everyone. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he was single and he could just, like, focus on one thing, it would make him a lot more successful. And I also think because we haven't seen any backstory on the success of his friend. Like, Chad is in all these episodes giving him all this advice, and we have not seen his fiance one time. And I think that's intentional. Like,
he's funny, though.
He's funny. I love Chad.
Exactly.
But
Martin mean?
Oh, people love Chad.
Where's the proof that this is somebody who has their life together?
Right.
Even
Derek has his own situation. We don't. I mean, obviously, we know something happened with the coworker Fred.
We also know that he may not be her baby
no
father.
longer exists.
Right.
Oh wait.
And I like Derek. That's who I.
Where did that come
think
from?
I.
Because I'm gonna show you where the lie was, and so this is like all over the interwebs. But essentially, in the sequence with Lawrence, they're all watching Due North at Lawrence's, and Derek is like, "Oh, Tiffany's at Issa's,"
right?
And then Issa and Issa's sequence, Issa, Molly, and Kelly all get the same text from Tiffany, like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." And we don't know why there's a disconnect there. It's also something apparent because we find out that Molly and Issa and Kelly don't know that Tiffany's pregnant until they're at the race. And she's already, like, showing. So there's some weird... To me, it seemed like there's something weird about the timeline.
It's 30 days.
And one episode, they said that they were struggling in trying to have a child.
Right.
So all of a sudden...
She's pregnant. She's hella pregnant.
Struggling.
Right.
Yeah.
There's too much around that. And
so how did this happen?
So, like, with that, like, to me, it's like Chad and Derek, they're the ones, quote, holding you down, but there's no proof that they are any more stable than you in the things that they're giving you.
So really,
and that just goes to show, like, for all of us, like, we all lean to our friends for advice and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to make your decisions for yourself because you know what's going on best in your situation.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you what it is, and this is a spoiler, but really, what we're gonna find out in season 3 is that the father of the child is Dro.
I'm done.
Okay.
Dro is the father, so that's all we need to know.
The series is all around.
Right. I mean, how do you feel about Lawrence?
I'm gonna just keep it real with you. So, like, I was Team Lawrence season 1, right? And then so this is more of a critique for the writing. I just feel like they have sabotaged his character. Like. See, you brought up how there were certain things that some of the characters did that just seemed like it was out of character for them, right? And I just felt like they went to the extreme of, like, making Lawrence this extreme fuck nigga and making these dumb decisions. Like, Lawrence is not... everybody makes dumb, but he's not dumb. Like, why would he come to his homies dinner? He doesn't know the setup of it with somebody else. Like, oh, I didn't know what type of thing it was. This is your man's. You have no idea. It's just like there was so many
making decisions like that though.
Let's see.
Come on. I mean, I feel like there was so many.
Shit was for TV.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No
like
real man is showing up with a girl that he's been kicking it with.
Yo, I'm
at
coming.
work.
Because you're going to tell your dude, yo, I'm bringing so and so.
Knowing your ex is going to be there.
The whole thing was absolutely silly.
It doesn't matter if it's a kickback at a bar or if it's a sit down dinner. You know your ex is going to be there, and you're a dude. You're not bringing the next girl.
No,
it's
why
just
not
happening.
Bringing my next girl, bringing them flossing, and I'm acting a damn fool.
Okay, well,
and so I think that they definitely, the writers, they definitely kind of
They did.
They kind of did a lot of weird stuff with Lawrence this season. Okay, for instance, I was looking at a tweet by one of the writers. There was an episode when Lawrence was basically his bosses shut down his woo-woo idea low-key, right? And his new girl, a partner, was saying, well, they kind of shut you down. Like, they kind of didn't like your stuff. And he was just like, what? Really? Like, I don't know if that's true. I'm going to go ask them, right? And so one of the writers wrote that Lawrence decided not to take her word for it, a partner's word for it, because she was a woman.
What?
Oh, I agree with that.
And so, okay, while you may agree with it, right, the writers did a piss poor job of making that scene. Making that, it's when you write something for a wide audience, you're supposed to make things obvious.
Mm-hmm. I didn't pick up on it, is what I'm saying. And so not that I don't agree with it, I just didn't pick up on it.
And so, of course, like, that happens in the workplace all the time. That makes sense. However, why are they talking about, oh, those are nice shoes that you have on, Lawrence? And why are they playing the scene was more a racial, workplace scene than I'm not listening to you, woman.
Then what justified his decisions in that moment, yeah.
But I think his decision, I'm not quite sure I picked up on that either. Because if somebody would have told me, because you want to hear it for yourself.
Right.
Regardless, male or female.
Right.
Right.
He never heard it before. And so why would that make it? Why would it
understand? Mm-hmm. Lawrence comes from a situation where he was always winning, right? You think about what drove him. This is me going back, right? More than likely, Lawrence never had struggle in his life, right? His woo-woo thing not coming off was killing him because he came from affluence. He came from being successful, so he didn't understand that nobody was really checking for him. So, in an instance, I can't believe what you say because my shit is hot.
Right.
And I got to hear it for myself, male or female.
Right.
My shit is hot.
And so, but the writer said that was him, basically ignoring her,
dismissing.
Yes, dismissing what she was saying because she was a woman, and that didn't make any sense to me.
Nah, that didn't make sense.
And so for that reason, and it's a bunch of little things like that throughout the season. Like, I feel like I agree with Najee and how they're basically trying to make Lawrence every type of terrible. And it's just like, well, that's not consistent with season one. Like, where are you getting this from? Like, if you want to show that he's awful, show that he's awful. But don't just, don't just project onto Lawrence, whatever bad experience that you've ever had with the man, because then, the character is not honest.
Well, I think the point of it is that we do that, though. That we project those things onto people.
But we do that as the audience members. The writers are not supposed to do that.
But they also make him insecure, the name of the show. He and Issa Rae are the same people. They do the same dumb shit.
Right.
They make the same bad decisions. Right?
And expect different outcomes.
Right. When they do shit like not going to the girl's family's barbecue and she got you standing there expecting you to come back and you don't call and you don't check for her, right? That's fuckboy shit.
It is. No, absolutely.
That's bad shit.
But Tasha's a great woman. Okay, let's just put that out there.
Okay.
They got to bring back Tasha.
They do, and that's what I'm saying. Like, why y'all just abandon? Why y'all just throw Tasha away?
Y'all love Tasha.
Because what did she do wrong?
I don't think Tasha did anything wrong.
I don't either. Nothing. I personally don't think she did anything wrong.
Tasha was disposable in that relationship.
Yeah,
because he's fucked up.
I thought she was just naive. I thought she was like,
she wasn't naive. Because think about this. She knew exactly what
she
the
told
game
him in bed.
was. She took him back after. She said, "You want something to eat? How many people you know gonna offer you something to eat if they don't understand the situation? I had sex. You had sex with your ex, but you came and told me. right, we good.
But then the cuss out she delivered at the end seemed to indicate otherwise to me.
But I think it indicated what he started projecting.
Exactly.
So at first, you know, they were just hooking up, and she told him, "Hey, if this is just a hookup, I'm cool with that. I'm down with that. Just let me know." Then he started doing stuff like taking her out to eat because he followed his homeboys. Well, no, his homeboys was getting on him about how he was doing what he was doing. Yeah. And he didn't want to basically admit that that's what he was doing to his boy. So he started taking her out to like prove a point like, oh no, we go out on dates, we do stuff and everything. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to, you know, an actual important thing in her life, he can't be there. Why? Because he was fronting the whole time. Yeah. Okay.
I think he was just also confused.
What?
Like he's still.
I just think he just out here fronting.
I thought it was kind of like I'm now getting exposure to like another side of life I haven't experienced in a very long time, probably since college. And shit, like there's other stuff I'd rather be doing that's not necessarily involving her. And I'm not used to this.
Though.
Right.
Tell her.
He did.
Gave him an out, and he did not.
I think when he was given the out, he still was confused and didn't know exactly what he wanted. But at the same time,
there's a difference.
Okay.
He still wanted to get to goodies.
How many times have you, you know, in your life, all of us have been, you know, kicking it with somebody that you know this is not going anywhere relationship wise. We're not about to get married or anything. You just, it's very comfortable. The situation is just comfortable. You like hanging out over there. You're thinking, okay, if I say the wrong thing or if I don't, you know, go out to eat her, it's gonna fuck up the situation. I can't come over anymore. I like coming over here. Like a lot of people,
they got
if
AC.
you're real and you sit back and go,
they got cable, they got Wi-Fi.
Good night.
I've heard all of that. I've heard friends, you know, they have a nice shower. I don't. So I'm going to do this. Like, I'm telling you. So, like, how many times have we all done that?
Quiet over there. You real quiet.
How many times have we all done that? You know what I mean? It was comfortable. But you knew what it was. You knew you wasn't about to do nothing with them and everything. And people have, you know, people might have called you out on your shit while you were in the situation and you still did it.
See, but the thing about it is, think about this. All y'all got friends that y'all talk to about your relationships. I don't have no friends that I talk to about my relationships. Because friends got bad fucking ideas. They suck.
There you go.
Have all single friends say the dumb shit. Right? All people who got relationships that are fucked up, they say dumb shit. So you know what I learned? Follow my own intuition. If I fuck it up, I fuck it up on my own. I'm not fucking it up because you told me that.
Well, that's
shit.
some 40s advice. And y'all heard it here first.
No, I learned that shit
asking
in
your
my
friends
30s.
for the bullshit.
In my 30s. Running from the police.
wait a goddamn minute. I don't know where it's going. I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah, do that. So let's talk about, we've talked about everybody kind of separately, but there are like some scenes I think that we should discuss. My favorite scene of the entire season is when Issa finds out that Lawrence blocked her on Facebook. I have watched that scene literally every day since that shit was so funny to me. I don't know why, but she was so angry, and the way that they wrote that, like you know, throughout the whole 2 seasons, we see her in the mirror talking and blah blah blah, but that one just took the cake because I felt like she was so hurt by that. Like the Facebook of all the things that she was hurt by, he unfriended her and that was it for her. So that was my,
not just a friend, blocked.
Oh right, blocked.
Can't find that man.
Can't find him. He's you fixed your pussy ass figure, so block me my nigga like you Matumbo my nigga. Like it was amazing to me.
Yo,
she's so good.
I thought that. Listen, I thought that was.
Right
I thought that was. I loved that scene because that was a moment of self-care. Okay, Lawrence had to make sure that he didn't. Look, he was seeing all these things on the feed or from
of Daniel.
Daniel, exactly.
Daniel.
It was a trigger. Daniel was a trigger, and so for him to, we talk about self-care in the black community, but do we really want it, right? Woo! And so he was trying to take care of himself, and if it meant that he had to distance himself from her in these triggering images, then why can't in this social sphere? Why can't he have that? Can he go on his timeline and not be reminded?
5 years and I'm just a button, my nigga. You gonna push me, my nigga?
Can he go on his timeline? Thank you.
That's it.
I just thought it was amazing.
No, I agree that he should have blocked her because if him sitting there like watching him go through her Facebook and stuff, it was awkward for me because I'm like, dang, now you a stalker now. Like, now you constantly
and
on
we
your
all
phone.
do it. And
we all do it.
it.
We've all been in the situation. And so I'm like, nah, if that's what he needs to do to block her, and probably blocked her friends too, so he doesn't, like, you know, see stuff coming up, that's what you got to do.
I mean, how many people in this room are connected on social media with their exes? Especially if you felt like your ex has done you wrong.
Nah, nigga.
Not connected, but we have adjacent friends.
We not friends.
Adjacent friends.
Yeah, we have adjacent friends
Yeah.
too. I actually found out he got married 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I have a
This
couple
morning.
that got married.
Yeah, actually,
was
I'll
hurt.
take that back and say I'm
more
not
annoyed.
friends with any of them except for like one on social media. Because you're right. It's like you need the mental. You need to be able. Social media is for like a outlet, and you don't need that negative energy that you haven't put there.
Yeah.
What is the
In your
purpose? Like, what
stress,
purpose does it
right.
serve?
Listen, I supported Lawrence. I just thought that scene was so great because
Yep.
she was fuming over that, and then it matriculates into this huge blow up fight outside of the party, which I thought was really well written because I feel like they needed that. Like,
Because there was still hope.
well, there was still hope, but also like a lot of us don't get to have that conversation. Like, you break up with somebody and you might not get to have that argument, and they had the most raw form of. There's no woo-woo's on my phone, you a hoe, blah, blah, blah. Like, just the full blow up, which I think they needed and we've been waiting for, personally. That's how I felt.
What did y'all think about the blow up?
I think that she was wrong for talking about his mental illness. Can we talk about that?
What you talking about?
What did she say?
Talk about that.
What did she say?
Go ahead.
She said, "Well, when I was
Speak.
supporting you when you was depressed on the couch." I was just like, wow.
Preach.
All of a sudden, for black men, we don't care about mental illness and we don't care about mental health in our community.
That's
all
what
of a
you
sudden,
thought?
it's a joke. Yes, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Because if he had said it to her,
The black woman would have dragged him on Twitter. Y'all would have dragged him.
depressed.
Wow, they would have been like, I can't believe.
All that black women have done for centuries for black men, and she had one bad day.
He is not shit. He is like, that's what it would have been. So it's just like, yo, can we talk about how she's a bad person for that?
Well, but then he
Has she
called her a
crossed the line?
whore and all this
Yeah, that
other
was
stuff.
wild.
We
That
not
was
gonna talk about
crazy.
that too?
That was crazy to me.
First, she crossed the line and talked about
Okay.
his mental illness.
Okay.
Nah, I thought that was crazy.
I thought
when I
that
heard him
was-
say,
When he said that, I was just
I
like,
don't know.
wait. You
They
gotta-
all hit below the belt.
I mean, if somebody cheated on you with the beat maker, you wouldn't think about saying. Not saying that you would
say
say
that you're a whore.
Does that make her a whore?
Come
You
on,
wouldn't
He
think
was
about saying
wrong.
that's crazy.
He was wrong for saying that, but in the moment when he said it, like I felt
Yeah.
his
You know where it was
pain.
coming from.
Exactly. I felt his
He was
pain.
hurt.
I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch.
Very
it.
hurt.
Very,
I gotta
very
rewatch
hurt.
But
And he
but
wanted to just put that same hurt on her.
Yes.
But
Like, he
a
doesn't think
whore,
she's
though?
he probably doesn't feel like she's a whore, but he wanted her to feel like a whore in that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
You were whoring. When you were whoring
When you
around.
He wanted her to feel like a
Hard
terrible.
word.
Now look,
person.
I think we put not too much, but we don't give that equivalent shine. I'll give you that. That he calls her a whore, and we think that that's so terrible. But like her calling him depressed is not taken nearly as seriously as him saying that
Yeah,
to her.
we serious about mental health or not?
Listen, that's
think
real.
We
We are.
serious.
We are.
We are.
I
I
understand.
believe in the
where you-
ACA.
Facts.
Facts.
I don't know if we're serious in here.
What other scenes you got? What other monumental scenes?
Oh, I mean the crying scene, the Daniel Caesar. Like we watching them apologize and be upset
The
and
Carl Thomas sweater scene.
Who? What scene? Did I miss it?
Carl Thomas.
Nah, you saw it. He had on a hot ass knitted sweater.
It was 90.
It was 95 degrees in LA.
And we were like,
And he had on the
Niggas
Carl
was
Thomas
at the
sweater.
pool back
And this is what I'm saying. Let me
So
tell you.
hot
This is
in
what I'm
LA.
saying. How they sat. They knew it was hot outside. They've
cool
been
day.
filming
It's cool day.
in LA this
Cool
whole
day.
time, and they said we're gonna put Lawrence in a sweater
It's a
for the
summer
for the winter. And it's just like no other character. Molly doesn't have on no sweater.
It's a summer sweater.
Niggas was going to the pool that day. You ain't see him go to the pool and come back
as
when.
white people.
But it's a summer
And
sweater.
did you peep it?
That is true.
Every
it was
single
white.
time. It
You
was
ain't never
the
seen
white
a summer
people
sweater?
going back and forth from the pool. Why? Because they're gentrifying. But
Mm-hmm.
I digress.
that scene I think
that.
was interesting.
I
Like the
would.
way that they did that build up of him being in there and then them having the whole conversation.
I picture her brother
conversation.
calling and being like, "Nigga, you said 5 minutes."
No, you way over your time.
Right.
yeah.
He's such a brother. Oh my gosh. No, I agree that scene for me did a lot because I will say this, I don't like happy endings at the end of my movies. I want it to feel real. The fact that they both, when they separate ways, I was like, that feels real.
Yes,
that feels like genuinely damn, we feel all these things for each other, but it's like, you know what, almost like wash my hands clean of this, because what's happened has happened and it won't be the same.
And I think it was smart to do the sequence.
Yeah, to see where it could have gone.
Yeah, to see where it could have gone, and it made it more final when they both left.
Love is not enough.
It makes you. It made me really sad.
Love is not enough.
Because they both still unhappy.
Right, and they both know that they can't reconcile it right now,
or they both have pride.
There's a lot of things that
they both have a lot of ego. So the thing is, right, even though they're both sorry, they both miss each other, they both still love each other, their pride and their ego doesn't allow them to say, hey, I'll do whatever it fucking takes, right? They said something to the effect of I still want you, I still want to be back, blah blah blah. But it's on both sides. If they both still expose that, they might not know if they still do want that, and B, they also just might be I'm still hurt, I'm not sure if you'll reject me, I'm not sure if you'll take me back. It could be on both sides of that.
I feel
who at either end said I'm willing to do the work on myself?
Nobody.
Good question.
And then Issa went right back to as we see, Issa just went back to Daniel. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't have or whatever, but
she needed a place to stay.
She's homeless.
That was the same thing. I was like, what's wrong with
it? She's living at her brother's. First of all, we talking about the work. We talking about the work that you need to do.
Lawrence has
the thing that you don't do.
Homeless. Issa's homeless.
She's homeless.
Right, but what I'm saying is
because she got you.
No, Issa's homeless.
So Daniel has money.
Daniel doesn't have money.
Oh, I thought you said.
He said Lawrence.
I see what you're saying.
Daniel got an apartment that he paid.
Daniel got a place to stay, but Lawrence
got a home.
My point was in reference to Najee saying which one of them said we're going to do the personal work.
Yeah.
And I feel like neither one of them distanced themselves from the things that were toxic to them.
Absolutely.
Like his friends.
Like his friends, Daniel for her.
They need Jesus.
Her friends.
Well, she could keep Kelly.
She has good friends.
Yeah, Kelly.
Tiffany, I'm still confused.
I wanted to address this because we spent quite a while talking about Lawrence's friends and how they're bad. What good advice has Issa's friends given her?
But Issa don't listen.
No. But what good advice have they offered her?
They haven't.
None. But it doesn't matter.
Well, it also seemed evident that they didn't know anything about her life. So, to your point, saying about how she wasn't really doing anything to add value to their lives. On top of that, when they were at the race, and Tiffany was like, "Kelly, I see you getting fit," and Molly, I see you trying to get promoted, and she got to Issa, and she just played her
I see you.
I understood that there's no reciprocation of her even letting them know what's going on, for them to try and help her, other than the whole Lawrence situation.
But they did show up at her event in Baldwin Hills, where this is what I do.
Yeah,
right.
It's about the kids. But other than that,
I don't know. I don't know what are you talking about in terms of advice.
I'm just saying,
He's just asking
because we were talking about Chad and
right,
and how they offer terrible advice, and we got into a whole conversation about that. But what a good advice.
I feel like they just support her. I feel like they just support her instead. They don't really
in her
tell
bad
her.
decisions.
Support her in her bad
Exactly.
decisions. Say you go, girl.
That's what we're trying to get you to come to terms
that's what
with.
we're trying to explore. We want to explore.
That's what we want you to say. We want to investigate
We want to explore
that.
because Chad, despite his faults, he was giving my man Lawrence a place to stay. That seems like support. Derek. He did. I didn't even like the way that the conversation was written, but he did say,
horribly written.
You kind of did terrible in your relationship, bro.
Yeah.
And so
he was talking about his mental illness, though, son.
But he didn't even address it.
No, he didn't. Because then nobody ever talked about, you need some help. We need to get you some help. Ain't nobody do that.
Right. And so
they just said, you a man. Pull yourself up by your
maybe I shouldn't have said bad advice.
Yeah.
They gave subjective advice. And as friends, we have to learn to give objective advice. We can't always give, we give advice and you're biased because that's your friend. And some people, they give biased advice because they only heard your side of it anyway. It's not like they're going to the other person and asking, so Issa, what's up with you? Why did you do X, Y, and Z and everything? So maybe not bad advice, but they gave pretty subjective advice and
I
stuff.
think they've given bad advice. I think that you're right.
You think so?
Yeah, but I also think that like their advice is not any. I think that all of the friends are.
Yeah, all the friends give bad advice.
Yeah, like I think that Issa's friends are. They give awful advice. Like we were talking about how Molly was outraged about what happened with Daniel, and it's just like what?
Yeah,
like
just
how?
didn't make sense.
Like how does that even make sense?
And for the record, he warned her, so I don't understand what the
she
issue
had
was,
control of his body.
And for the record, I would have, if I was Daniel, I'd have been mad at you for moving.
I'm dead.
Right.
Well, and then like that whole situation escalated anyway unnecessarily, because then when they were on the phone, I felt like she overreacted again.
Yes.
Like when he was like, "Oh, now we're even," and she was like, "What?"
It was a joke.
That whole sequence felt illogical. It was just
felt
like, this
so
is too much.
forced in the writing. It felt so forced, and
I was like, but it'd be one thing to be mad, but she was like vehemently mad.
Don't
she
ever fucking call me again. Blah,
I was like,
blah,
girl,
blah. And then you sleep on his couch less than a week later. Like, you homeless.
It was a month later.
Some
She said
and then she was holding.
She
was not telling you at 30 days.
She kept saying she was embarrassed. I was like, embarrassed for like who's?
And she was holding her eye for 20 hours later. It's like you're good
in the Uber
pool. Like you're good.
I'd have been so
I think
upset.
that some of the writers have some serious things to work out.
Yes.
Themselves in their own
Yeah.
life. Because when I saw the writer get on and she was talking that craziness about how the scene wasn't it was about the job scene was just about him dismissing a woman's opinion. I was like, but what in that story did you didn't explain that in your writing? And so I feel like the writers I feel like they actually have to convene and decide who the characters are and write from that standpoint, rather than the man who they dealt with 5 years ago, who they have a problem with, and everybody's just projecting their own thing onto the characters.
And it's funny because someone brought up to me that, so if you think about like that scene with Daniel, or you think about even just how they approach the idea of open relationships or whatever it is that they're trying to address, it seems like some of the writers are writing from an outsider's perspective and not someone who's actually either lived those moments, because like you said, you don't really know something until you live through it, right? And so some of the ways in which they approach it seems very foreign, and it seems either archaic or out of touch because it's not coming from a balanced place of complexity or truth.
Because I went and Googled open relationship.
Okay.
Right? So there's rules to the shit. But she ain't asked the rules. What's the deal? How we going to do this? I'm going to do it.
She did ask.
No.
They had a whole conversation about it.
But she ain't Google it. She's a lawyer. She's supposed to look up the details.
Okay, but they had a full conversation about what his rules were.
And she's not supposed to know the person. Like, you can't do it with friends or known people. You got to do it.
That's
with
what
folks.
that's what the internet told you, but that's not what Dro and his wife have worked out. Like you said,
Dro
stay out of grown folk. Okay,
she don't know.
Either you.
She doesn't know.
She don't know.
I'm gonna sit on that.
doesn't.
That's like Googling how to be in a relationship once you meet a new person.
No.
I'm done.
But listen, how to have a open relationship is serious business. Because people gonna get hurt in this deal.
I feel like I agree
It's
with
like
you.
new
In
territory.
Molly's analysis nature.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Like, the
She should've
writing there
Googled
could
this
have
shit.
been like, oh, let me look this up.
This
or
is-
like,
this
see
is my
what
pro-
the...
What logical premise, like
such
what
a good
logical
lawyer.
foundation comes into something that deals with the heart? It's like, you could ask all the questions, you could look up all the stuff you want to, but it don't mean nothing if it's not what the person is actually like subscribing
the
to.
heart?
So you have to like ask the questions to the actual person you're dealing with. But anyway,
Well...
move it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think season 3, like you said, the writers have some work to do, but I really genuinely hope that Lawrence stays single and just focuses on what he thinks he deserves. Like, he clearly thinks, like you said, he's come from a background of privilege. He thinks his thing should be working. And so I hope that he figures out how to make that work. I hope that Issa finds a home and finds a job that she's passionate about, or something that's going to carry her further than her little bubble of like relationships and all of this other fuckery that she's dealing with. And I hope that Molly creates a circumstance for herself where she just isn't hurt all the time, because I feel like she's just constantly hurting her own feelings. Right, and I hope that they bring Sterling K. Brown back.
He's working on This Is Us now. He's finished with it.
Also, see, This Is Us is amazing. Yeah, I really would like to see him, but I don't like. It's funny because I can't picture who Molly would end up with. Like when I think about the show in general, I'm like, damn, like,
Big boy from Get Out.
what
Cats.
person?
A bunch
He's too
of
good.
cats.
I'm so happy. I'm so unhappy.
character
I'm so
would
upset
they
they
add
had
to
sex.
the
I was
show?
like, ugh.
What happened to a dog?
Oh, she did have a dog.
What happened to Molly's dog?
We off topic.
We are. So what do y'all think? And I think that Tiffany is having a baby, not by Derek.
Of course.
And I hope that Kelly just continues to prosper and be great.
Facts. Team Kelly all day.
Team Kelly always.
Hashtag
Me
Team
and
Kelly.
Kelly is my spirit animal.
She,
Yo,
got,
them
she
jokes,
got us. Out
them
of
ad-libs.
everybody on the show, she got
got y'all.
us.
Have you ever
She
seen the
got
after? I know. Have you ever seen the after credits? Like actually, like the real person who plays Kelly.
Yeah,
talking
And she's
about-
very different from her.
completely different.
Yes, she
Wind down.
is.
Amanda
Yeah.
Seales. Oh no.
Not Amanda Seales. Yeah,
Kelly.
Kelly.
What do y'all think about season 3?
I'm excited that HBO renewed Insecure. For the not only the culture, but like it's literally the only thing I've ever seen that portrays something similar to my life in my lifetime.
As it's happening, you mean?
No, in terms of what it is to be a part of the Black experience.
Oh, okay.
And it's good because people that are non-Black are able to see a different side of like Black young people that aren't, you know what I'm saying? Like 90s, you had Living Single, you had Hanging with Mr. Cooper, you had Cosby's, you had A Different World, you had And Live in Color, you had so many different like examples of Blackness. It wasn't just like this narrow focus on like what is the Black experience. You have Martin, you know what I'm saying? Like you have all kinds of examples of like what it is to be Black. You could be a PE coach, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, you could be, you know, in college, you could also be a person working at a radio station as a DJ, as a disc jockey. You could be so many different things. You could be, you know, a lawyer, whatever. My point is that finally in the fucking late like 2000s, we now are able to show people who grew up in the 90s are now able to see themselves like as adults, but in a space that's not Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives, or some other like ratchet ass shit that doesn't identify with like what the true Black experience is of most people that I know.
So you don't have any predictions. You're just glad that it's here.
So like I said, I'm happy to see that HBO renewed it. Predictions wise, nah, you got that. I really don't want to make no predictions. I'm just happy that they not together. It feels real.
Anyone else?
That's all really I gotta say about that.
I don't really have any predictions. I feel like they can write whatever.
And
you
I'd
know
be
what
happy.
I mean?
And,
Yeah.
Not necessarily I'll be happy, but I just feel like I have no control over it. I literally cannot say, oh, this may happen. I just hope if y'all are listening, Issa, just give Kelly a backstory. Give her more lines.
Please
You know what I
give
mean? Like
Kelly a life.
that's what
Kelly
I want.
need a life too. Mama
That's
need a
what I
life.
want. That's what
Mama
I
need a
want.
life. I feel the same way. I need a life for Kelly. I need a backstory. I need a backstory for Lawrence. I need a backstory for everybody.
waiting.
Like we needs that. We needs that.
Yeah.
But on another note, I am also happy that they renewed it. I will support the show, even though I don't. Some of the writing I think is highly, highly questionable.
I love how you keep going back to the writing. Keep going.
Yeah,
Make it
it's
better.
just
Let them know.
Yeah, like they need to work. They have work to do, but I'm gonna support it regardless. True story. I watch Empire. Empire for 2 seasons. Empire is terrible. Absolutely.
I watched it for 2 seasons as well.
I watched it until I couldn't watch it.
I got
anymore.
fatigued.
I watched it until it was too much. And when Dej Loaf shot the other.
Oh, she was on the show. See, I missed it.
Nah, but she is.
Nah.
She's not, but she is.
She's not, but it's a character.
Oh, the other girl.
that's-
Frida.
Yes, a character that's reminiscent of Dej Loaf.
You trifling.
She shot Jamal. I was watching.
She shot Jamal. Wow.
Yeah. I was
Like-
watching it. I was watching it until it was so bad I couldn't watch it anymore. And I still, if somebody was like, "Okay, would you rather support Empire or another show?" Like I would, just because.
White people love Empire.
Do they do?
Mm-hmm. I discovered that recently.
I've
that's
actually
terrible.
discovered that white people also really like Insecure.
They also like Tyler Perry. So keep it
Anyway,
moving.
yep. Go ahead, Sloan. What you think?
Okay, so I think, well, one, I love the show, and I'm very happy that it's going to be coming back. I don't know about predictions. I want to know more about Derek and Tiffany's situation.
Where?
Why he spent a year out the house and
Hotels,
decided to come
yeah.
back.
And what does it
I would
mean
like
that
to
Fred
know.
is gone? like he said,
Fred he handled it. Fred is gone. Like, yeah, what does that mean? And like, I just want to know, why did he spend that time outside the house? But what made him come back? Because a year is a long time to be gone from your wife.
Yeah.
And they were still making appearances. Like, they were still going places with each other.
Exactly. And yeah, I just want to know more about them, because like, for everyone telling their shit on the show, they don't.
Yep.
And
they're all
married.
about appearances.
They don't tell what's going on in their relationship. It's like you have to pick up clues.
Right.
Or they're saying it because the conversation kind of went that way. And you know what I mean? So just want to know more about that. And I'm actually happy that Issa and Lawrence aren't together, because that's real life, and hope to see him, you know, start dating other people, or not dating and just living, and want to see her get her shit together.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, did Aparna break up with him, or she just?
I mean,
left him?
she got out of the car and slammed the door fairly hard. So
Yeah, it was just kind of
We
open.
probably won't see her again. You know how they do.
Yeah.
no,
like,
she gonna be in. I would hope that she's in the office.
The writers
And
need,
they
they
have
need
to
to free
write.
Tasha. Free Tasha.
I know. Bring back Tasha.
I think they have to at
Tasha.
least acknowledge
Fun
that
fact,
Aparna works there, and that there will be some. They'll write into it that there's some interaction.
Fun fact, I met Tasha, a.k.a. Dominique, when I was in New Orleans for Essence Fest. She
she
dope as
great?
fuck. She kind of thotty in real life. I like her for that, though. She like, I feel like a real friend, like I grew up with.
Good.
But she was cool. She was
looks
like,
very real on her
we took
Instagram.
Snapchats and Instagram photos together. I was like, oh, we go together, girl. Like, we friends. Anywho, going on to OG Mike.
I don't have any predictions. I just think that it's a good show. I think that it's well written, except for some pieces that need to be more expounded on. It is about being insecure, and it's about finding your place in this world. Because the one thing that we haven't seen is them being activists at any point, right? Of being very self-centered and not thinking broadly, right? But I think it's done purposely, right? So we have to think about Issa, finding out, you know, what life is really about, and understanding that living is about not being selfish and giving to others. Lawrence, the same thing. And I think them coming to that point at the end was about that. It's about, I can love you, but I need to take care of me in order to be able to love well, right? And to be in a relationship. I think that Molly going back to Dre was a cop-out.
Dro.
Liquor. Brown liquor is one of those things that I feel bad, because you're going to end up empty, and you're going to end up alone.
That's real.
Right? And I think that Derek and his wife, Tiffany, are living their shit, right? Going through whatever they're going through, whatever happens. But you do that, and you understand that what's beneficial for each other. Because if the businesses of marriage is growing and it's progressing and it's moving forward, and we can make it work, then you stay, right? If you can't make it work anymore, then you move on. And then there's Kelly, who is dope and the most authentic person, because she lives in, this is who I am. I'm fat.
She's thick.
Why did you start there?
All right, now.
Think about it, though.
I'm
They
big.
pegged her as the funny
They
black
picked her as
girl.
the funny
fat girl.
black girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? But you know what? Authentically her. No matter what anybody does, yo, she loves the fuck out of box wine, right? She don't mind getting finger popped in the diner, right? Because you know what? It is what it is, and that's
Amen.
authentic.
It is what
right?
it is.
So you can't be angry at that. You just go, okay, I can relate to her, but to everybody else, they got to keep living. They got to keep growing. And they got to learn from their mistakes. And nobody seems to want to remember the shit they did before that got them into the situation they're in presently. So maybe now they will.
Yeah. As someone, never mind. I'm not even gonna shade you. I changed my mind.
Now go for it. Go ahead, Nick.
Shada.
No, I just feel like it's relatable, like you said. Like I feel like I'm going through a lot of these things. Like the types of decisions that I have to make seem to be identifiable. Like, oh, if I don't want these shitty things to happen, should I be making different types of decisions? Like, what is going to be the long-term effect of this? Or did I cause this situation to happen to me? And am I going to continue to do the same things and expect a different result? Or am I going to change the way I'm doing things? So I really appreciate the show for that also. And I look forward to season 3.
Yeah, ain't no show like it on TV. I appreciate.
I wish there were more episodes. 8 episodes feels like I wish that there were 10. It would give them more time.
I think that's enough about that.
I wish there was just other examples of our experiences on television in general.
Yeah.
But it's excellent. I think it's a pathway into a lot of cool things. The Emmys just aired this past Sunday.
Word. Which it was nominated for 0 Emmys.
Right. But, there were other wins. This was the blackest Emmys I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I saw Donald Glover take away 2 Emmys for Atlanta. Shout outs to that. The night of, we had, what's
Sterling K. Brown took some.
Oh, he
Ava
was so
DuVernay took
good.
Some. Common had a couple.
What's her name from Aziz Ansari?
Lena Waithe from Master of None. We had a really good Emmy show out, I would say.
I mean, and we're doing that compared to Oscar So White and all the other kind of foolishness that's been happening.
Can we talk for 30 seconds, about what happened when Cicely Tyson was talking?
She got nervous.
That's what she said.
I don't know. I don't think she got nervous. I don't believe that.
What actually? Does anybody know?
I think to me, she sounded like somebody's stubborn grandma who refused to take help until she eventually was able.
Do you think she just couldn't see the monitor?
I think she couldn't. I think she forgot, but also she couldn't see the words.
Couldn't see, yeah. I think she because Cicely Tyson she's been in this game for a long time, so she knows what to say. So, I'm nervous. You're not nervous. You are a legend.
Right.
You've been in, but you know what I mean. Something was going on, so she probably couldn't see or something.
I think she just forgot. They probably spoke her words to her. Because maybe she didn't want to wear glasses
or something,
or something. But
because Cicely's 90?
She's 92.
She's 98.
Because she was
she's 92.
whispering what she was supposed to say in her ear, and obviously we heard it. And so it was like, oh girl, you forgot your lines.
Okay. I was just wanted a point of clarity.
But it did look like
you know how this is super extreme, but you know how during the hearings McCain just started talking crazy, and it's he has brain cancer. I didn't know if there was one of those things somebody diagnosed her or something legitimate. Happened.
I didn't even go that far.
I don't know. I was genuinely worried about her. I was is she sick?
I was looking at somebody's stubborn grandma who was just
really
don't you help me? I got this.
She
was like that.
You need to put your glasses on, Mom.
But she's like, I ain't using my glasses. I'm cute today.
Okay.
Look at this contour.
Cool. So
when we gonna recap Power?
Oh shoot!
Let me explain to you one thing. I stopped watching Power as soon as Tommy and Lala started fucking. The same way that you stopped watching Empire.
I personally love Power.
Way that I stopped
Power
watching
is one of my favorite shows on television.
You got me to watch that shit.
Raina's life matters.
I love Power. Power. You know what it is? I've realized when I watch Insecure, it's I feel so awkward and so uncomfortable. I want to look away because I'm cringing from the moments. And with Power, it's what's happening is happening in no, it can't. I still cringe, but in a different kind of way.
So it's Empire differently.
I don't watch Empire,
but it's Empire, right? So it's drug.
You know what? No, it's not. It's different. This is how I say it's different. I stopped watching Empire when Taraji was in that cage as a monkey, as a gorilla.
Upset about
and I
that.
was like, I see what the metaphor could be, but I can't do it, and I'm over it.
I stopped watching Power because I just can't.
I mean, Empire is just basically a modern day soap opera. I get it, and it can give you those feels, but I've just never stories. I've never liked soap operas, so it's just not for me. Power, on the other hand, to me gives it's thriller, it's suspense. I don't know. It's also on premium. It's on premium cable, so you get nudity and a lot more rawness.
So
there's essentially no difference in the two shows to me.
Yeah, say what?
There's no difference in what you just said is the same for both, in my opinion.
It's racist.
Do you watch both?
It's some racist shit.
Racist.
You watch both Empire and Power. You've watched every single episode.
Some racist drug dealer shit.
I stopped in this season Power episode 2. I'm gonna watch it.
Wait, which season?
The current season I just finished. I didn't see Raina die and all this other shit y'all talking about, but I saw up until episode 3. But you said it's a story. It is a story.
You're not over drug dealers yet?
Who?
Y'all ain't over drug dealer movies and TV shows?
I hate that most black people who come to Power happen to be drug dealers, but for the sake of the show, it is interesting. But I don't like the typecast.
All right.
We watch
for the culture.
What's that? What's the one about the religious folks?
Greenleaf.
I watched that one.
I like Queen Sugar.
Queen Sugar is
Queen
it.
Sugar
I
is
love
amazing.
That's about family. I watched that. I'm not watching
Queen
about
Sugar
no
is
drug
to me
dealer.
one of the best
Because you know
shows on
what?
television.
It's all. What's that movie with the? I'm drunk.
Tyler Perry.
No, I'm
He's
going
by
back.
Mike.
Which
Come on.
No, I've been drinking my brown liquor. I'm sorry.
Well, give us a
You
target.
got to give me a
He
moment.
says a movie back in the day.
East by
Back in the
90s.
day, drug dealer.
Oh,
Nino Brown.
Like New Jack City?
New Jack City.
Nino Brown.
Ain't that bad?
What about it?
Cancel that.
Same shit. New Jack City Power. Same shit.
Except he owns a nightclub and he's trying to get up out the game.
Wasn't Jason trying to get up out the game?
Jason was, but he got killed.
He did get killed.
Nino's brother tried to get up out the game.
He
didn't
got
He got
murked.
killed.
I called him Jason.
What's his name? What's his name?
Yes.
Yo. All right. So
Brown liquor.
We
Jason's lyrics.
yeah, like I know that's what he was.
Personally, this has been a great, year and change for black art on big screens.
Right.
I've thoroughly enjoyed second season Insecure. Like I said, Atlanta, Power. Even like I'm not like I don't promote that for the culture, but I appreciate a black protagonist, even if he is slightly an antagonist. Even when it comes to Insecure, I actually do hate all of the characters because they're all flawed. But that's what makes me really enjoy the show because no one's perfect.
There's a realness to that we don't see all the time. So okay, well, thank you guys for all of you are return guests. So thank y'all for A, supporting us, B, coming back, C,
Shout out to
living it
the
up with
first
us.
episode back from our hiatus.
Back from the hiatus.
Yeah.
OG Mike in the house.
We got New York sounding like New York.
And on that note, thank you everybody.
Peace.
Oh shit.
What?
So check us out on
Oh, we got a rebrand, baby. We on YouTube.
Right. So we're on YouTube. We're on iTunes.
Been on iTunes.
Instagram is now popping. We've got
10.
some graphics, a new video.
Please rate us.
Please rate us. Follow us. Black Meets World.
Love to hear
on
comments.
All of the social medias.
Topics you want to hear.
Topics that you want to hear. We have people now responding to those things. So please send them to us.
Oh, don't we got a shout out?
Should we do that now?
Yeah.
I was going to give them a shout out in a different setting. But
Are we
yeah,
shouting,
sure.
Are we shouting out PVA?
We're shouting out PVA Entertainment, Ty, our engineer and studio host. We are also shouting out our incredible interns who have literally changed
Asia
the game
and
for us.
Amani, you guys are the best. We love you guys.
Yeah, and you've really gathered us together this summer, and we
Shout
really,
out
really
to them.
appreciate you.
And
we,
also, I want to just give a quick shout out to someone who recently reached out to us. Her name is Vanessa Coulange. Forgive me for the mispronunciation. But she reached out and said, basically, hey ladies, so I found your podcast and listened to every single episode. In case you can't tell, I'm going through a major withdrawal. I'm just ready to check in and make sure everything is all right because it's been a minute since the last podcast and I need my work stories. So are you ladies okay? When's the next podcast going up? Baby girl, we just now premiered this Sunday. So we excited you listening and we want to give some love. Please let
Right.
us know. Please tell your friends, tell a friend. Yeah.
we've also demoted our previous manager.
I was trying not to shade our junior assistant producer.
Are you tell him Junior?
What are you talking about?
What's his name? What's his stage name?
I think it was Mac or some
AKA
trash.
Clifton. Trash ass nigga.
AKA can't be bothered to show up to the
Trash
reboot.
ass nigga.
Right.
Yo,
So
listen,
shout out
leave
to
that man
those.
alone.
Shout out to everybody who's supported us, and
We
we'll leave it at
appreciate
that.
And we love
Have
y'all.
a blessed Sunday evening.